Now let's paint the texture for the fish in our little scene. So I want to make this a fairly colorful character here. So I've got the fish kind of all by itself here, and I'm going to start just by filling it with a color, and I'm going to make it kind of a bright blue color. So fairly saturated, kind of bright color. Now feel free to do whatever you like as far as the color. Okay, I'm going to make this maybe a little bit darker. Okay, just kind of use your own judgment and paint this however you like, but I'm going to start by filling it with the base, and then I want to add some kind of really colorful scales. So I'll get kind of a nice bright green color, and I want to be able to draw those scales in. Now one of the things we can do is go to Pixelogic's website to the new Download Center, and they have a wide variety of not only matcap materials, but alpha maps and texture maps as well. So we're going to go down to the alpha library, and I'm just going to pick one of the scale images that we have here. Okay, feel free to browse around and choose whatever you like. This is a really great feature that is fairly new. We've got the matte caps, again, the alphas, and now textures as well to choose from. So a really great resource if you want to get some really nice alpha maps to be able to use in your scene, as we will do. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to grab one of the scales, and let's load it up as an alpha. So I've got the lizard scales here, and with the green color selected and the drag rectangle stroke, I'm just going to drag across, and the main area that I want to focus on is behind the head, kind of to this tail. So let me go ahead and turn that alpha on. And so I want to drag it across. I don't really care too much about covering the other areas. I just want it to be an appropriate scale, and I want it to cover the areas that I want to cover. I also want it to be nice and bright, so I'll adjust my RGB value up there. And so maybe something along those lines. All right. And so now what I can do is go back and cover up some of these areas that I don't want to be the green. So for instance, I can go ahead and turn that alpha off. I can come back in with the blue color and a freehand stroke and just kind of fade that back in. Okay, we don't want any on the eyes. We can also use some alphas to do this as well, to kind of fade that in a way that makes a little bit more sense. All right, let's go ahead and paint out this fin as well. So we'll kind of paint the blue on the fin. We don't really need the scales there. Same thing on this fin. Kind of paint that out a little bit. And you can make this as sort of colorful as you want. And then as we come up this fin, we'll kind of go back into our blue color. Okay, same thing over here. Blue on the outside. All right. And then we can go ahead and make the color of the fins. Going to go ahead and choose maybe an orange color. We'll come in here and start to add in that color just for the fin area. Come in and add that inside here just to kind of brighten everything up a little bit. Okay, and on the back side we can do that as well. Even though our composition is kind of from one side, we can go ahead and finish this out in case we need to have another angle here. Same thing on these fins up here. Go ahead and draw that orange in. Right in there. And just nice and colorful. And feel free to, again, kind of do whatever you want color-wise. Just kind of layering some of these colors on top of one another. And in this case, not really worried about blending too much. Just creating some bold lines here. So we can come in here, and maybe we want this fin to be this orange with blue. So we can make the base orange if we want to. Okay, come in here and paint that the orange. Get that orange all the way behind there. And then we can come in with the blue. Grab that blue and just create some streaks in there coming up from the base along that fin. Okay, we can start to blend some of these back in a little bit more too. comes in a little bit more like that. Alright, we can start to come in and blend some of these together. We can also grab this orange and create kind of a darker orange and maybe come in and create some detail here. We can create some color variation that we can drop in so it's not all one orange. Create a little bit more interest, maybe get something a little bit brighter. Come in on top of that and just start to layer some of these colors on top of each other. You can get a really nice look here. You can come in with the yellow. You can go ahead and grab this green if you want to get that green color back with a drag rectangle and maybe get one of these other kind of more spotty alphas, and then we can kind of blend the fins with the face up here. So maybe I get some of this detail going on up at the front and on the top of the head here where this is a little bit stretched out. That's okay. And just kind of drag that in. So just start layering some of these on top of each other. You can get kind of get your green going on, and then maybe you want to get a darker green and then a lighter green. Kind of just layer that on top of each other until you get what you want. Okay, then you can come in here, get that blue color back, and maybe blend this together a little bit, cover up some of those scales and where the fins are, and just kind of blend that together so it's not quite so harsh right down there. And just play around with some of the colors along with the alphas and strokes that we have here, just making something very colorful. Alright, and so once you have that done, the next thing that we want to do is to detail the ground plane. So we're going to add kind of the ground that he's sitting on. We want to add kind of the look of rock or sand or whatever it is we want to do. And so we can look at how we can add a texture and then sculpt on top of that texture to add a little bit more detail and actually shape the ground a little bit more. And so we'll do that in the next lesson.